There's a moment that doesn't look dramatic, but it becomes a dividing line in your life. You're sitting there, and then it hits you. That wasn't just life. That was someone shaping you. Someone caught you when you were open, when you still believed people meant what they said, and they used that softness like a handle. Maybe it was betrayal. Maybe it was a public joke that turned you into the punchline. Maybe it was being abandoned right when you needed them most, and they chose themselves. After that, you didn't only feel pain, you changed your posture, you changed your timing, you changed the way you enter rooms, you started scanning faces before you relaxed, you started reading subtext, you started rehearsing your words before you spoke, because you learned that one sentence could be twisted into a weapon. You learned to laugh things off, to swallow anger, to act fine, while your body stayed tense for hours. You became careful, and you called it maturity. But it wasn't maturity, it was a scar learning to speak. You know what I mean because you've lived it. The hypervigilance, the distrust that shows up even around good people, because your nervous system doesn't care who deserves your trust. It cares who might take advantage. The over-explaining, as if enough detail will protect you from being misunderstood on purpose. The people-pleasing that isn't kindness, it's insurance. And late at night, the mind plays the same movie. If you could just rewind the moment and say the perfect line, maybe you'd feel whole again. This is where most people get trapped. They take the wound and turn it into a personality. They become bitter, or they become numb, or they become the version of nice that is really just surrender. They keep waiting for an apology that never comes, for closure that never arrives. They call it healing, but it's really a pause, a quiet agreement to remain shaped by someone else's worst moment. I'm not here to give you comfort. I'm here to give you a Machiavellian truth. Fairness is not a strategy. The world doesn't reward the innocent, it rewards the aware. The question is not whether they broke you. The question is whether you will stay broken in a way that benefits them. So listen closely. Revenge, in the Machiavellian sense, is not violence. It's not chaos. It's not you losing control and giving them a story where they become the victim. That's amateur revenge. It burns hot for 5 minutes and costs you 10 years. Real revenge is leverage. It's reclaiming the parts of your mind they hijacked. It's becoming so disciplined, so self-contained, so hard to manipulate that the same tactic can never work on you twice. It's turning your wound into a weapon you control, not to destroy people, but to stop being destroyable. And here's the part that will sting. The people who did this often don't think about you as much as you think about them. They moved on. They went to sleep. They forgot. You're the one still carrying it in your nervous system, which means the only person left to defeat isn't them. It's the old version of you that keeps begging for a different past. This video is a system for that. A ruthless, practical process to convert injury into power without turning you into a clown of revenge. No speeches, no public drama, no begging to be understood. Just quiet dominance. But I'm going to warn you, if you want comfort, click away. If you need the world to be fair, click away. But if you're ready to become sovereign, if you're ready to take what tried to break you and use it as the foundation of a new self, then stay. Because the person they created in you can either be a frightened animal or a controlled monster. And that choice starts now, today. Rule 1 is brutal, and that's why it works. Hold a funeral for the old you, not the dramatic version, the quiet, private one. The version of you that still waits for an apology like it's a key that will unlock your peace. The version that thinks closure is a conversation. The version that believes fairness is coming if you just explain yourself one more time. if you just prove you were sincere, if you just show them the part of you they ignored. That version has to die. Because as long as you keep asking the past to refund you, you stay emotionally in debt. You keep checking your phone for a message that won't arrive. You keep replaying the betrayal, rehearsing your perfect speech, imagining the moment they finally understand. And every time you do, you hand them more control. They're not even present, but they're still steering your nervous system. Closure is often a fantasy that keeps the wound open. So, you stop bargaining. You accept the truth. They may never admit it. They may never apologize. They may even rewrite the story so they look innocent and you look unstable. And if your peace depends on their honesty, your peace is a hostage. Machiavelli would call that a foolish dependency. A wise person relies on what is in their control. Their words aren't in your control. Your standards are. This is the funeral. You grieve the life you thought you would have with them. You grieve the version of yourself that believed loyalty guaranteed protection. You grieve the hope that they would return as a different person. And then you bury it. Not with hate, with finality. You stop seeking emotional refunds and you convert loss into structure. The pain becomes a schedule. The humiliation becomes a boundary. The abandonment becomes self-reliance. You don't get over it. You build over it. Rule 2 is how you stop giving your enemies oxygen. Stop explaining yourself. Over-explaining is not communication. It's submission dressed as clarity. It's you saying, "Please don't misunderstand me," to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. It's you presenting evidence to a judge who already decided your sentence. And here's the ugly part. Your enemy loves it. Because the more you explain, the more you reveal. Your fears, your motives, your weak spots, your need to be seen as good. They collect that information and use it later. Watch how this shows up in real life. You set a boundary and they say, "Why are you acting like this?" And you start writing paragraphs. You apologize for your boundary. You soften it. You add context. You turn your spine into a suggestion. Or they disrespect you in public, then later text, "You took it wrong," and you rush to clarify, to prove you're reasonable, to prove you're not dramatic. That's the trap. They bait you into defending your dignity as if dignity is negotiable. So you replace explanation with standards. Short sentences, clean tone, no speeches. "Don't do that again. That doesn't work for me. We'll talk when it's respectful." And then silence, not passive silence, strategic silence. Silence that says, "I'm not entering your courtroom." The fox doesn't argue with the trap. The fox exits. At first, this will feel harsh because you're used to earning peace through being understood. But being understood is not a requirement for being respected. In fact, the more you chase understanding, the less respect you get, because chasing signals need. Neediness repels power. It makes people bold around you. It makes them test you. It makes them comfortable taking from you. So you shift your engine. You move from "please understand me" to "watch what I do." You let actions become your language. You stop narrating your intentions and start enforcing your boundaries. You stop trying to win the argument and start winning the position. This is what "kill the boy, build the commander" means. The boy argues for his innocence. The commander adjusts the environment. The boy wants to be liked. The commander wants to be effective. The boy needs closure. The commander creates closure by closing the door. And once you do this, something changes. The people who were playing with you lose interest because there's no reaction to harvest. The people who matter respect you more because you're clear, and the voice in your own head gets quieter because you're no longer negotiating with the past. You're building a future that doesn't require their permission. Rule 3 is where the amateurs get filtered out because it feels like loneliness at first. Enter the ghost phase. This is the part where you stop talking and start becoming. You stop announcing. You stop venting. You stop recruiting sympathy like sympathy is fuel. It isn't. Sympathy is a sedative. It makes you feel understood for 10 minutes, and then you wake up in the same life with the same problems. Except now you've leaked your energy in public. Most people sabotage themselves here because they confuse movement with noise. They think posting a quote is progress. They think telling a friend their plan is commitment. They think sending a long message is closure. But your brain doesn't know the difference between talking about a goal and taking a step toward it. Talking gives you a dopamine hit. It feels like action. That's why people love plans. Plans give them the pleasure of identity without the pain of execution. The ghost refuses that pleasure. So you adopt informational fasting. No announcements, no big things coming, no revenge speeches, no subtweets, no watch me captions. If you have to tell people you're dangerous, you're not dangerous. Danger is felt, not advertised. Power is quiet. The moment you broadcast your transformation, you invite commentary, doubt, and distraction. You also invite your enemy back into your head, because now you're performing for their reaction again. The ghost phase is simple. You disappear emotionally and socially from the places that drain you, and you put that energy into building. You keep your circle small. You keep your mouth shut. You work like someone is watching, but you don't let anyone actually watch. This creates pressure, a sealed container. When you don't release your frustration through talking, it turns into heat. That heat becomes output. Here's what happens when you vanish. People get uncomfortable, not because they miss you, but because your silence removes the story they were using. They can't track you. They can't predict you. They can't measure themselves against you. And in that uncertainty, they start filling gaps. They assume you're failing. They assume you're angry. They assume you're still the old version. Good. Let them. Underestimation is camouflage. This is why the ghost phase is strategic isolation, not depression. You're not hiding because you're weak. You're withdrawing because you're busy. You're choosing solitude as a weapon. Every hour you don't spend explaining yourself is an hour you can spend sharpening. Every conversation you don't have is a distraction you don't pay for. Now, Rule 4 is the payoff, and it's the only kind of revenge that actually ages well. Revenge through outcomes. Forget dramatic revenge. Dramatic revenge is emotional, messy, and short-term. It creates enemies, destroys reputations, and keeps you chained to the person who hurt you. It's also predictable. People expect it. They can prepare for it. They can label you as unstable, and then your entire future gets explained through that label. Machiavellian revenge is the opposite. It is cold, quiet, and patient. It doesn't scream, "Look what you did to me." It whispers, "Look what I became without you." The principle is simple. They don't need to suffer. They need to watch you rise without access. That's the kind of revenge that hits the nervous system, because they can't argue with it. They can't gaslight you out of results. They can't dismiss a new reality that everyone can see. And they can't take credit for it because you did it in silence. You didn't include them. You didn't ask them. You didn't need them. So, you build leverage like a war manual. First, skill. Skill is portable power. Money can be taken. Reputation can be attacked. Skill travels with you. When you become technically undeniable at your craft, your business, your body, your communication, you stop being easy to dismiss. The world becomes forced to negotiate with you. Second, money. Not for luxury, for independence. Money is the ability to say no without explaining. It's the ability to walk away without fear. It's distance from desperation, and desperation is the scent predators look for. Third, physique and presence. Not because vanity is noble, but because your body is the first story you tell. A disciplined body signals a disciplined mind. It signals you keep promises to yourself. People feel that before you say a word. Fourth, competence under pressure. Calm execution. This is the highest status signal in any room. Anyone can be confident when life is easy. The person who stays composed when insulted, when challenged, when tested, that person is rare. And rare things are treated carefully. And only after results. Fifth, network. Not the begging kind, not the mixer, business card, please notice me, kind. Real network comes when you become a magnet. When you've built something, people approach you. That's the difference between a climber and a passenger. The passenger wants a helicopter. The climber builds legs of steel. When the wind hits, the passenger falls. The climber becomes the mountain. This is why revenge is a long game. Noise is weakness, because noise is impatience. It's the ego demanding proof now. I want them to see it now. I want them to regret it now. That hunger is still dependency. It's still you needing their reaction to validate your transformation. Let that die. The ghost doesn't chase reactions. The ghost builds inevitability. And here's the best part. When you do this correctly, you don't even have to contact them. Life will do it for you. Mutual friends will mention you. Social media will leak it. The market will echo it. The absence will speak, and the results will translate. They will hear about you. They will picture the old you and feel confusion, then curiosity, then discomfort, then that sick, quiet regret. How did they do that? And the answer will be the most humiliating one for them. You did it alone, quietly, while they assumed you were still broken. Next, we go to the final forging, how to use their memory of you as camouflage, and how to become the kind of person who can't be hurt the same way twice. Rule 5 is where you stop trying to prove you've changed, and you start using their old image of you as camouflage. Most people make a mistake when they begin transforming. They announce it. They start posting like a prophet. They start forcing confidence. They start performing strength so everyone can validate it. That's not power. That's still dependence, just dressed in darker clothing. Real power uses what the enemy believes against them. People remember the old you because it was convenient, easy, forgiving, available. The one who replied fast, the one who explained too much, the one who stayed after disrespect because you didn't want conflict. They have a mental file on you, and they're lazy. They don't update it unless you force them to, so don't force them early. Let them keep underestimating you. Underestimation is a cloak. This is why the ghost phase works so well. It gives them nothing new to categorize. They keep assuming you're the same, still soft, still hungry for approval, still bendable. Meanwhile, you're building in the dark. You're sharpening without the audience. You're changing your nervous system, your habits, your posture, your standards. And by the time they notice, it's too late to adjust their strategy because the old leverage points are gone. Now here's the rule. You do not return with speeches, you return with gravity. When they reach out, you answer differently, shorter, cleaner, polite, but not warm, not bitter, just contained. You don't punish, you don't chase, you don't explain your distance. You simply maintain it. This is the glass wall. They can see you, they can talk to you, but they can't touch the part of you that used to react. People don't understand how powerful that is. They think revenge means humiliation, But emotional access is the real privilege. When someone hurts you and you still give them your deepest reactions, you're still giving them power. The wall is the revenge. The calm is the revenge. The fact that they can't pull the old version out of you anymore, that is what makes them feel the loss. And yes, they will test you again. They will probe the boundaries the way a person taps on glass to see if it's real. A joke, a little disrespect, a sudden coldness to see if you chase. They want to confirm that the old you is still there, because if the old you is still there, their world makes sense again. Don't give them that comfort. Hold the standard without emotion. No, not doing that. We'll talk later. Then you move on. You do not argue with the test. You pass it, quietly, repeatedly. Tests stop when they become expensive. Now Rule 6 is the final forging. Become anti-fragile. This is what makes the transformation irreversible. Resilience is surviving. Anti-fragility is improving because of the hit. Your enemy doesn't just fail to break you. The attempt strengthens you. How? Emotional alchemy. Pain becomes production. Humiliation becomes discipline. Anger becomes precision. Most people waste pain. They drown in it, talk about it, romanticize it, post quotes about it. They make it their identity and then wonder why their life stays heavy. You're going to do the opposite. You will treat pain like fuel. Dirty fuel, yes, but powerful. Because right now, you don't need purity. You need momentum. If they betrayed you, your response is not obsession with the person. It's obsession with the build. You let the wound create hunger. You let the hunger create structure. You let the structure create results. And then the results create distance. This is the clean chain reaction. And here's the key. You stop needing their respect. That's humiliation, immunity. You stop asking, do they see my value now? Because you finally understand, someone without character can't recognize value consistently. Their respect is weather. Their loyalty is a mood. Chasing their approval is like trying to build a house on fog. So you become your own judge. This is the initiatory part. The moment you stop needing external recognition, you remove the leverage point. People can only hurt you through a door you leave open. The door is your need to be liked, need to be chosen, need to be understood, need to be vindicated. Once you close that door, the same weapon can't enter again. They can still talk, they can still try, but it hits the wall and falls to the ground. And don't misunderstand monster. A monster is not someone who is cruel for fun. A monster is someone who has integrated their darkness, someone who can feel rage and still choose strategy, someone who can feel pain and still produce, someone who can be kind but is no longer harmless. Harmless people get used, integrated people get respected. This is sovereignty, calm that does not depend on how they treat you, confidence that doesn't require applause, a future that doesn't require their permission. When they see you changed, they'll try to place you back in the old box. They'll call you cold, they'll call you arrogant, they'll say, you changed, smile, let them talk. Their labels are just their way of grieving the version of you that was easier to control. You are not becoming worse. You are becoming unmovable. And once you reach that point, you don't even need revenge anymore, because nothing in you is waiting for them. You've already taken your power back. So here's the code, compressed. You held a funeral for the old you, the one still begging the past to be fair. You stopped explaining yourself, because explanation is just permission for people to keep judging you. You entered the ghost phase, where you stopped broadcasting and started building. You chose revenge through outcomes, not noise. Then you weaponized their old image of you as camouflage, and you became anti-fragile, so every attempt to break you became training. Now comes the final test, and it's always the same. When you start winning, quietly, consistently, without asking anyone for permission, they come back. Not always with malice, sometimes with smiles, sometimes with warmth. Sometimes with that disgusting line that makes your stomach turn, "I always believed in you." They'll try to stitch themselves into your story like they were part of the build. They want proximity to your glow. They want access to the version of you they didn't protect. This is where most people fail, because the old hunger wakes up. The part of you that wanted validation will whisper, "Let them in." Finally, they see you. That's the trap. Because what they're offering isn't love, it's late interest. And late interest is almost always conditional. It arrives when your value is obvious and your attention becomes profitable. So handle it the Machiavellian way. No scenes, no revenge speeches, no emotional trial where you recite everything they did. That gives them center stage again. Instead, you stay calm. Polite distance, selective access, standards. You become a wall of glass. They can see you, but they can't touch you. If they truly changed, they will respect the boundary without bargaining. If they didn't, they will push, guilt, joke, or test you, because they're still looking for the old leverage point. Don't give it. Your silence is the verdict. Your consistency is the punishment. Your success without their access is the lesson. They created the wound, but you created the weapon. And the weapon isn't cruelty, it's sovereignty. A mind that doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't fold. Most people will never live like this. They'll keep looking for closure. They'll keep feeding enemies with reactions. They'll keep turning pain into personality. You won't. That's why it works.